Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1528 Northeast 19th Loop here in Canby. We're located at the front of the home. We're just off to the left of the front doorway. Have a 3-inch PVC clean out here near the hose bib and directly out. If it ever gets buried, it's right in front of this very first vent here to the left of the doorway. We're going to answer the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. Alright, looks like it just belled out there to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. And then now we're in 6-inch here, it looks like. I'm going off the clean out here. Sometimes the 3-inch clean out will tie directly onto 4-inch pipe. It's possible we've just gone from 3 to 4-inch, but looks like it's gone from 3, 4, and then 6. Got a little bit of standing water here. We'll take a look at this spot at the end when the line's all drained out. And typically I recommend repairs on bellies. My kind of breaking point is once you have at least 5 feet of pipe with at least an inch of standing water, that is where I typically start seeing regular old toilet paper collect in sewer lines, not paper towels and stuff that shouldn't be going down them, but toilet paper. And this right here appears to be the main lateral connection here at about 40 feet. I'm going to go do locates to verify that's where we're at currently, and then we'll let the line drain out completely before reeling in. All right, locate the camera head successfully out the main lateral on 19th loop. Like we still have some water running here. We're going to give it just a moment longer to drain. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start reeling back in. We have a very small amount of water trickling through the line. And when I first opened this up, before we were even into the house, I don't think anybody was even inside yet, we had a small amount of water trickling through the clean out here. So, might be a leaky toilet flapper or something like that. It's consistently just a very small trickle going down the line there. Oh. That right there was the knockout plate. When we opened the clean out up, there was a knockout plate sitting right inside of it, and the thing just fell directly in. It wasn't even glued in place. That's all the way at the main there and moving its way out. The issue, you can see how that item kind of got hung up in the belly here, and that's kind of the concern with bellies, is debris coming down the line, hit it, slow down. It's like hitting the pool at the bottom of the water slide. You come to a stop really quick. That's kind of what happens to debris as well. It hits the standing water, slows down, stops up, and then allows other items to come in behind it and do the same thing, and you can slowly build up to a blockage. It's not that it can't be lived with. It's just typically when if you're really watching things, you can often live with a belly. This one is actually quite clean and clear, but a lot of times that has to do with how many people are in the home. If you only have 1 or 2 people in a house, a lot of times a significant issue will never manifest itself just because there's not enough volume going down the line. That's why I always recommend repairs on bellies once they hit at least 5 feet with at least an inch of water static with no water running inside. Typically, that's where I see toilet paper collecting lines, especially when you have a larger household. So anyway, I'm going to mark this right here. That belly, I can tell, is over an inch of standing water. So we'll map this out. All right, put a white tee out in the middle of the roadway there. We're at 5 feet 9 inches deep. It goes all the way out right to the main laterals where that belly finally dissipates. But right here, once you get about 3 feet back into the belly, we're already up over an inch of standing water. And at this point here, so there's a trick I do. I've been doing this long enough I can eyeball water depths pretty accurately. But when I pull the camera back really quickly like this, that water level is not sucking down below the camera. Generally, when you've got it about 1.5 inches of standing water or less, when you pull the camera back really quickly, that water level will suck down below the camera lens. In the middle of the belly here, it's sitting around probably 2.5 inches of water, possibly 3 inches. There's a fair amount in there. I am going to recommend a spot repair to correct the belly here. We're going to kind of let the water settle into place so we can get an accurate measurement of it. You can see we still have water running. It's just, we have a very slow trickle coming through the line here. So appears we have a leaky toilet flapper or something. I've got to watch this kind of carefully here to get the belly correctly mapped out. Because when you've got some running water, it gets a little bit trickier to tell where the standing water is and isn't. This stuff here, you can see how we have ripples in the water. It is moving. Still moving water there. Well, this right here is where the water starts to stand. You can see how it starts to come up over the camera lens. Now, right here at about 27 feet here is where the belly starts at. Alright, it's all mapped out. I've got a white X at the start of the repair. It starts right in the middle of the sidewalk. It's at 6 feet 2 inches deep there. And then out at the main, it's 5 feet 9 inches. A lot of that has to do with the sidewalk being built up. It's just a taller area over the ground there. Anyway, everything prior to that point here is still moving water. I don't see any bellying prior to that point, but I do recommend a spot repair to correct that. And I would look into or contact the city. There's a decent chance the city may be responsible for the sewer line out here. Generally, if a city is to take responsibility, it's usually at the right-of-way, which is often the sidewalk or the curb. I definitely want to look into that because that may be their issue to deal with. Now, if you decide to try and live with the belly there and not get it repaired, I highly recommend rescoping the line in 6 months to a year after moving in to get a baseline for how the line is handling your living habits. Every household lives differently. You might have 2 people here now and 6 might be moving in or something like that, so which makes a huge difference when it comes to something like a belly in the line. Well, we're going to reverse direction here for just a moment and scope back into the home. You can see we still have water running here, so there's something inside the house that's leaking. Probably a toilet flapper. It's often what they are. And there's a fair amount of water leaking down the line somewhere here, so I would try and figure out what that is exactly. Now, and here's the end of the line where it looks like we're getting the vent here. Now, all the pipe inside the house, although we still have some water trickling through the line, is draining properly and is in good condition. Then it looks like the water is coming out of a 3-inch Y connection here, so that is more than likely a toilet. I don't see that water coming through an auxiliary drain tie-in there, so it looks like the leak does appear to be a toilet. We're going to reel the camera out. Aside from the belly, and the pipe there still appears to be in good shape. There's no breaks in it that I can see. We got a lot of water obstructing the view. All the pipe is intact. We do have a belly there I would recommend getting fixed. Aside from that spot, the rest of the line's in good shape and has good flow. After any repair work is done, make sure you get a rescope performed. Most of these bellies happen at the time of installation because someone didn't compact the ditch properly. You want to make sure that the repair looks good before you bury the thing again. Anyway, I'm recommending that repair there because we've got from 27 feet to 40 feet, there's about 2.5 inches to 3 inches of standing water, which is a fair amount.